Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome one and all to another of my live streams. I have in the studio the delectable Stephanie Mitchell Hughes, and we're going to be covering more topics. If you recall, Stephanie has walked through her own life in a series of podcasts that we refer to as Resilience 2.0, and we try and learn lessons from that, and then we try and apply that to the things around us. And today is no different. Today we're talking about something I have odds with, but we'll call it standing in your power. But more importantly, I would say it's taking the blinders or the blinkers if you're in the UK, you're taking them off and actually looking around you so as not to miss out on opportunity. Am I right, Stephanie?
Right. Right. Some of this we may have to agree to disagree on, but
That's
when we
cool.
come to that, we'll just agree to disagree and try to keep it moving. So one of the things that I think, and I can just use myself as an example, I've struggled with this, where I think that I should go in one direction, but and then I keep trying to force this and do all of these different things. I'll just give one example of this is, at the beginning of starting over in 2006, I knew that I needed to get a different job and I needed to have a job with a steady income and health insurance for my children. And
Yeah, but if I can just stop before you go any further there,
uh-huh.
it was I know you said you needed to. You could have carried on what you were doing before. It was just making you ill. It was just making you sad,
Yeah,
and
well,
it was
no, but
ruining your
this
life.
Yeah, but no, this isn't the job that I left because of the whole long
Okay.
COVID. This is
Okay.
like when I was still representing children.
All right. Okay. Sorry.
I was working for myself.
Yeah. Okay. I've got you.
So I'm looking for another job and everything. And I wanted to get consistent income because in what I was doing, it was feast, or more oftentimes than not, it was famine because I was paid when the county decided that they were going to
I get you.
pay me for the cases that I handled. And so I just, I tapped the person who was one of my mentors. I talked to her and I just kept thinking, well, I've got a law degree. I'm going to go out. I know I should be able to find a job. And my mentor was who's now deceased, but she was a very knew a lot of people, real salt of the earth type person. And she was trying to help me. And nothing that I revived my old professional network, talked to all kinds of people, sent letters, did all of these things. And regardless of what I did, I couldn't move in the direction that I thought that I was supposed to move.
Right.
And I was fixated on, like, I'm going to go west. I didn't take the time to step back and look at and survey the whole range, all of the earth, so to speak, instead of just go west.
Right. Okay.
So it wasn't until it took me a long time to realize that I just had on blinders. I was fixated. I had tunnel vision and I wasn't considering and that tunnel vision prevented me from stepping back and considering other alternatives, other possibilities, and also other things that I personally needed to do. And so I finally got to the point where I was able to take my blinders off, I stepped back and I realized, okay, there's some things that I personally needed to do in terms of my own personal soul work and lessons work and healing work and
I
all of
get
that.
you. I get you.
And what can oftentimes happen is these different shifts that we encounter, detours that we encounter, delays that we encounter. They're not just happening to make us frustrated. They may be happening because you're too fixated on moving in one direction. And so as we start 2020, as we are heading into 2024, what I want to encourage you to do is take your blinders off. Because if the longer you keep them on and you keep trying to push something in through that's just not going through naturally or just not moving through, there could be some other reasons that that's not happening and other things that you need to consider. Now, I personally feel that these things happen because they are designed, detour, delay, shifts, denials, etc., are pushing you into towards and into the life that you were always meant to live, and
Yeah.
and
This
moving
is where we diverge.
towards
This
your
is where we
calling.
diverge.
And so Gareth and I diverge here. He calls what I'm talking about predetermination. I call it walking in your purpose, life purpose, walking in your mission, living with what is it? Living untethered and unbound, like removing and throwing off the things that bind you. Those are the kinds of things. But I want you to walk in your purpose, your life purpose.
Okay,
Walk
okay,
in your
okay. I
destiny.
get. Let me just respond to this. The reason why I'm at odds is I love the idea of having a purpose, but it kind of presupposes that you only have one, the way in which you're portraying it. And in actual fact, if I look at my own life, my own purpose has changed at least five, six, or seven times. The
Mm-hmm.
purpose I thought at the beginning was all about making music and hedonism and making myself happy and making as much music and being with as many women as I possibly could do, and that was my early 20s. And then I thought my purpose was on creating complex computational models and dividing that and supporting people doing that. And then I thought my purpose was helping people within charity to be able to access more money and then I thought and on and on and on. And here I am today where I think my purpose is on enabling small business to promote themselves more effectively and enabling people to understand their true value through displaying it in such a way that it's more palatable for other people to read and comprehend. But it keeps changing, and I've no reason to believe it won't change again. So, which one is my true purpose? Is
But the
any of my
thing,
true
but the
purpose?
thing is, though, is that what I think you have to do, and I do think that your
But you
purpose
get you understand
and
my
what
point,
you're,
though.
yeah, I understand what you're saying, and I do think that sometimes, depending upon where you are in life, what phase of your life you're in, what chapter you're in, because your life is not just one straight continuum all the
Absolutely,
way across. And so
absolutely.
what's your priority, not purpose necessarily, but your priority and purpose will likely change according to your season, the season that you're in. But
Yes,
I'm talking about something that's even bigger than that, though. When I talk about purpose, destiny, etc., I'm talking about what you are going to use, the gifts, the talent, the skills, all of the stuff that you use to really live your life. But also, because I think the primary reason that we are here is to be of service to others. And so I think that when I think about this, yes, my priorities are going to shift according to the season of life that I am in.
right.
But my mission, my purpose, my calling may at its core always be the same. And so you can unpack some of the chapters in your life and look and see, well, at the nugget, was I really using the talents and the skills and all of what I had, maturity, what have you, at that time? Am I using that
I see.
in my priority. And I know you look at this very differently and differently than I do. So, we will have to agree to disagree.
yeah, but there's no problem with that. The two ideas can coexist in a philosophical discussion. The whole point for me is that I became obsessed with the idea of helping people because it
Mhm.
made me feel happy. But if it hadn't have made me feel happy, if there'd been something else that made me feel happy, I could have ended up with that being my life purpose. It
Mhm.
happens I get a buzz, and it's more long lasting than drugs or alcohol. I get much bigger buzz out of knowing that I've helped someone, especially if I can go back to them a year later and they're still feeling helped and they feel like, that's a really long buzz you're getting there. You can't really
Mhm.
get that from anything else. So for me, that's become my purpose. But I'm 58 now. I'm nearly
Mhm.
59. And frankly, it's taken me all of this time to work. I want my daughter calls an old age mentioner. The 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 truth of it is, it's taken an awful long time. Maybe I'm a bit dense, but it's taken me a long time to work this out.
Well, I
And
mean, but the thing is that Gareth, you're not by yourself in that. I mean, it took me almost my entire career, my entire legal career to get to where I am right now. Because, yeah, I have had some really difficult things happen in my life,
yeah,
but I've also had some very good things happen in my life, and that's just the way that it goes. And the thing is that I believe that all of this has prepared me to do exactly what I'm doing right now. I mean, I started writing about living with a mental illness 10 years ago, being a solo mom 10 years ago. Started writing about all of this and talking about all of this. But what has happened over those 10 years is, yes, I was in a very difficult job, very difficult job that was psychologically harmful. But at the same time, even there are even nuggets and remnants from that job that have prepared me for where I am right now. And I said
right.
the same thing. It's
Yeah,
like
well,
I've
look,
been a lawyer all this time and I'm just now getting to where I'm supposed to be.
yeah, but yeah, I agree with you. It's irritating that it has to go that way. But you know what? I've been through traumatic events, and I think what we have to think of is silver linings. That, for instance, you and I get on supremely well, and I'm thankful for that. But the truth of the matter is, I had to go through an awful lot of bullshit to be the kind of character, the kind of person that you would like now, and not all of that was good.
Of
A
course
lot,
not.
but I
Growth
wouldn't
growth
have. But
is not
I can't
I mean,
gainsay. I can't gainsay any of the negativity to have come out
mhm.
the other side. You know what I'm saying? It took traversing those ravines of rubbish to come out the other side.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is that you think about where you were, and I can think about where I was even 10 years ago. When I entered my 50s, I certainly did not, couldn't envision the life that I have right now. Definitely could not have. Did not have any sense of awareness of all of the things that will happen and can happen in this, I call it the long last chapter season of losses. Had no real appreciation for that. It just wasn't until I was like me, I was in my mid 50s and really started looking around. But I didn't I believe that I see it when I'm really ready and it's time for me to see it. And so that's why it's like, well, if you just I don't want to limit myself and I don't want to see other people limiting themselves by simply looking with blinders on, but stepping back and realizing that you've lived like all of these years and had all of these experiences, and they were not, be they good or bad experiences, just sent to be bad or to be good, but they help you prepare you and prepare you to do, you may call it something else, one thing, Gareth, free will, what I want to do, but preparing you for what it is that you were born to do.
Yeah, but you see, as soon as you say you were born to do it, that means that that was laid out, that you had no choice, that something else,
Oh
an
no,
entity
I
of
do have a
other.
choice.
Well, you can't
But
do it
you
if
know
you're
what?
born to
No,
do it.
no. But see, I do have a choice, Gareth. Let me just say, let me tell you. This is what I mean by the choice. So I love anybody. I don't know if I've ever talked to you about this or not, Gareth. Probably not. But I love cookies. I absolutely, tell me if I have. I
Hang on.
absolutely love
We have
cookies.
a point of issue here that I need to just correct. You're
Mhm.
talking about cookies, not what we refer to as biscuits. Yours are soft and crumbly and smudgy in the middle. Uh,
Well,
we don't.
some of them are thin and they're crispy.
Those
And what
aren't
have
cookies. Those are biscuits,
they're
madam.
okay, those they're in America, they're cookies.
Oh,
But I love cookies. And so I can tell you in the city where I live, I can tell you who sells the best sugar cookies, brownies, oatmeal raisin cookies. I mean, I can tell you, like, okay, who sells the best sugar cookies? Who
you're a
sells the
cookie
best
monster.
chocolate chip cookies?
You're a
So
cookie monster.
yeah, I was calling myself a cookie connoisseur. Okay, so there's a new kid on the block that makes extraordinary. And when I use the word extraordinary, I mean extraordinary in every way possible. They don't sell cookies, they are selling an experience because eating their cookies is an experience on all different levels. But so, but at the same time, I need to lose weight and I have to stop eating. So I can go down if I choose. And I can get two puppy chow cookies from this place that makes these extraordinary cookies. And I can eat them. But two things are going to happen. Number one, they're going to make my stomach upset because they're rich. That's one of the extraordinary parts. And two, I don't know that they're really going to help me in my quest to lose weight. So I can choose. I can choose. I can go in one direction or I can go in another. The bottom line is that I have to be willing to accept the consequences of either decision.
Right.
So that's what I'm talking about. Now
No,
you say
okay,
it's not
okay.
free. You're saying it's free. Well, we have free will regardless.
You can't have free will if you're saying we were meant to do something.
Well, and some people were just meant to do things.
Yeah, but if they're meant to do it, that's not free will because they were meant to do it.
No, you were meant to have the daughter that you have. I was meant to have the son that I have and the daughter that I have.
Well,
I
I could
don't
have, I
understand.
could just as well just had not had a daughter or a son and not had
Well,
any
and that's
children
true.
at all.
You could have decided I'm not going to have any children regardless. But the
That's
thing
not
is that you have these children and these are the children who, they come in and you sometimes I know I can look at mine and I'm just like, "Oh my gosh." Especially my youngest
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Where you just look at them and it's like, "Oh my goodness." Am I looking in a mirror? Do I see myself here?
Yeah,
So you got that, you got that one kid and you kind of you understand them and you can
yeah,
see them but at the
yeah.
same time, and then they have free will. They can either make curfew or not, go to class or not, oversleep or not.
Or
I
not.
mean, they can just do all that. They choose to do their homework or not. And different people have different ways of responding to that.
Right.
I I think it's TikTok and YouTube. On Facebook, I saw a reel. This family apparently keeps posting reels, mainly on TikTok and on YouTube.
Right.
And I was really drawn to this particular reel because they had a dumpster in the house. like
A what?
a wheelie dumpster, like a trash bin with
Right.
wheels. It's the individual trash bin that people have. A lot of people will have in their house so that they can then wheel it out to where the trash truck it will come by and pick it up. Maybe this is an American thing where we have the little wheel anyway.
No,
So
we have wheelie ones, but not in the house.
no, so he had the kids bring it into the house
Okay.
because his younger children, and what he had done is all of the children, and I'm when I say all, I mean all. It looked like they had just a huge pile of toys, and they were in the middle of the floor. And he had a shovel, and he was picking up and shoveling the toys into the shovel and putting them in the dumpster. And he went from room to room. He put so much stuff in the dumpster that the dumpster, it's plastic, it's that thick, heavy plastic, but you could see that the dumpster had split down the side. And so he said, I am doing this because people, they were not picking their stuff up and they were not putting it and organizing it and doing all of that. Some people really took him to task for doing it because their feeling was, well, these are younger children. And if you wanted them to do it in a certain way, then it's incumbent upon you to show them.
Right.
But having them dump, but just picking all their stuff up, some people thought that was reasonable, other people didn't. And the children, in the meantime, lost their toys and they really got into it and they were like cheering and jumping up and down. I don't know that they understood the significance of all of it. I was just like, I cannot believe that you have your trash dumpster in your house and you are using a shovel to dump little kid toys in the dumpster and get them out of your house.
It's actually left me speechless. That's quite nuts.
Well, we're here in America. I mean, it's the United States. I told
That's I can't I yes.
you.
Oh dear. Um
I mean, but this is, I mean, we're in the United States. This stuff happens. So, but it's online. But that's free will. I mean, they chose not to do it. There's a consequence.
yes.
So we can debate the predetermination free will thing all day and all night. The point is 2024 is coming. Take off your blinders. See so that you can see what life is sending you so you can do the work and you can move forward and have a productive year. That's the
Right.
goal.
Right. Sorry, my mind's a little bit blown. Yeah, it makes me sad if I'm going to be.
What about the toys and the dumpster in the house?
No, that's part of it. Just it just makes me sad. I guess I'm despairing at humanity at this stage.
Well, I despair of it.
Okay, no, we're going to stop this right now because we're sliding down a negative spiral, and that's not where we're
That's
going.
right. We're not going to go
We're
in
not
that
doing
direction.
that.
Okay, so so I just I want to wish everybody a happy holiday.
No, we're going to go revisit what we said at the beginning. Do you know what? The next best opportunity for any of you out there could be just off to the
Okay.
side, out of your peripheral vision. Am I right?
Yes.
And if you don't take the blinders, the blinkers off, if you don't and tilt your head to one side and look to one side the other, you could well miss the next greatest opportunity in your life. And that could be a lover, this could be a friend, this could be a business opportunity, this could be a job, this could be a visitation, this could be a family member that you can reconnect with. These options are all out there. And by using, see, I always used to have this problem with my son growing up because he used to say, I'm never going to do this. I'm never going to do that. And I said, remove the word never from your vocabulary, because do you know what? By doing that, precluding that you might look over there, that you might read this, that you might taste that, but you might eat this, you might drink this, means that you might never have that experience that could lead to a whole epiphany in you. Sorry, it sounds like I'm standing on an orange box here. And another thing, no, the point I'm trying to make is quite simple. 2024 is round the corner. We're in touching distance. And Stephanie, you can tell me, there are times in your life you look back and you think, if I hadn't have taken that action, if I hadn't made that decision, if I hadn't, then all
Oh
this
yeah,
good
there are
stuff.
plenty of them. There are plenty of them, but there are no do-overs.
No, but you know what? It's not a do-over, but you know what? There is enough time for you to screw up, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and get it right. And
Absolutely.
I spoke to Richard Branson when in my late 20s. I was doing a pitching contest, and I just pitched. I think I came second, and I spoke to him and I said, Richard, because we're informal like that. I said, Richard, what's the secret of your success? And he said, I found all the things that I was really, really terrible at, and I made sure that I looked around, found people who was better at it than I was, and got them to do it with me.
Yeah.
And so what I'm inviting all of you is to look to the left, to look to the right, look at the bits that you're struggling with, that maybe you should either get some advice from a friend or dare I say it, a business colleague, and not carry the weight of it all on your shoulder. Yeah, I'm well aware that's a sort of biblical reference, but what I'm trying to say is you don't have to shoulder the thing yourself. There are people out there to help you. You can make your way forward. Your next best opportunity could be just out of eyeshot. Try not to give up too easily. I think the biggest problem in America and the UK with marriages, particularly, and with relationships, particularly, as people, I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about in general. I see it happening all the time. They have this big fun fair, they save up for the most expensive one-day event of their entire adult life. And then a year later, they're not talking to each other, or they've split up, or on the verge of splitting up, because they don't see things as a thing that you need to work with each other to try and find the way through, you know?
And then also, but to live where you are presently and not think, oh, I'll get a chance to go back and I'll do this when. I'll do this when.
No,
Do
no,
you,
no. You've got to say yes. You've got to do it now. You've got to take action. But by the same token, because Richard Branson, using that as an example, he fell flat on his face several times. He
oh
had
yeah,
businesses collapsed lots of times, but overall, he was a success. So the truth of the matter is this: you've got to try. You won't fail if you don't try, but you won't succeed either.
right.
So you've got
Yeah,
to
that's
try.
true.
You know, you'll just do nothing. And I think a lot of people are frightened of failure, so which makes them frightened of success as well. I think you've got to kind of feel the fear and do it anyway,
Right.
which is the name of a very good book. Look, Stephanie, let's wind this up.
Yes.
Summarize.
Okay. So remove your blinders. Stop trying to force on yourself or look at your life as headed only in one direction. If you remove your blinders, you may see the whole of other opportunities and other things that, and delay and denial and detours are not necessarily negative things. They are there to prepare you. They're there to push you, shift you, position you so that you can really walk into the life that you are supposed to lead. And the other thing that I'll say is, and this is, I say this more for myself than anybody else, but be open to embracing both the pain and also the victories. What I'm going to really encourage you to do, and Gareth, you too, I'm going to encourage everybody who has Netflix to watch a movie that's on there. It's a new one. It's called
Okay.
And
American Symphony.
American Symphony, and it focuses
I'm
on
already scared.
an extremely talented musician named John Baptiste.
I know John Baptiste.
Okay, very talented,
Very
very
talented.
talented
Very talented.
musician. And it focuses on him and what he's writing in terms of his symphony. And it also focuses on his wife, Suleika, who had a recurrence of leukemia after having been in remission for about 10 years.
Right.
And she and John were getting ready to get married, and she had just gotten the no diagnosis of the occurrence. And as she's getting ready to walk down the aisle that they had created for their wedding, the little small aisle or circle, she said, um, I'm here to embrace both the pain and to feel the pain and also the good and the beautiful things that are happening.
Right.
Because it's not as if you can just necessarily escape one and only have the other. So just because you encounter pain along the way, you're going to be fully embrace the pain and also the victory. And don't allow the painful and difficult things that may happen in 2024 to overshadow the good things that have happened in 2024. And so we can talk about this more next week, or the week
So
after.
on that happy note, I wish all of you a happy Christmas and a happy New Year if I don't speak to you before. And I just want to say to Stephanie, she doesn't know I'm going to say this, that it has been an absolute joy getting to know her
Yeah,
this
you
last
could.
year, and that I think she's been a source of inspiration for many people, including myself. And I look forward to a long and happy relationship going forward into 2024 and beyond. Uh,
Same
so
thing, Gareth.
so
Same thing.
many thanks for everything that we've done together, and to all of you out there. Try and remember that although it's a very pressurized time of year, although everything seems to be in high relief, high focus right now, if there were people that you loved before you went into the Christmas season, if there are people whose company you enjoyed before going to the Christmas season, if there were opportunities on the table before you went into the Christmas season, I'm suspecting they should still be there when you come out the other side. Just try
Mhm.
not to get too pressurized. Try and see that there will always be a way forward. So I wish all of you kind hearts. Uh, I wish all of you patience of a saint, and of course, great mental health.
Mm.
Bye bye now.
Bye, everybody.